Ladies and gentlemen, we're so excited for our headliner tonight. I believe for his first time ever at Talkies. Gosh, from so many great bands in the Bay Area for a long time. Currently, the Love Songs, and also often known as Hot Licks Houlihan. Here is Billmeier.
Thanks to Nick for inviting me to this. We tried to know ahead who else was doing their stuff, because my story is also about my first period. We're just doing the best we can. There's also, yes, test slide. Let's confirm this works. The story I'm about to tell you is going to be, I hope, rad. But I have to warn you that it kind of starts out a little bad. And that is due largely in part to a lad who goes by the name of Chad, who was just kind of mad. But he decided to take that out on my left nad. When I was 8 years old, I rode my bike full speed into the back of a parked car on accident. And my bike stuck in the back, the rear bumper of that car. Just like that. But I kept going, and I broke my front tooth off on the handlebar of my bicycle, and I kept going, and I bounced off the window, rolled over the car, and landed on the pavement on the other side of the car. And in hindsight, I realized in a situation like that, you're bound to find one of three people. First is somebody who thinks, please, I hope nobody saw that. I hope nobody witnesses any act of folly that I'm party to. Secondly, is someone who's going to immediately try and find like someone or something to blame for that folly. But the third, and this is a camp I felt that I resided in, if there's going to be some sort of comedic, cataclysmic collision between bicycle and parked car that results in me losing a tooth, please let one person at least have seen that. Otherwise, what a waste. What a waste. And also, bonus points if it's caught on video. Unfortunately, I did not have video of that incident as far as I know, so I will play you a different video to prove my point.
Dude, she's going.
Oh my God!
Are you alright?
No, I'm good.
Yeah, she's good. Look how many people saw her do that. She's great. In 1985, there was a bicycle manufacturer who had a small imprint who made BMX freestyle bikes under the name Off the Wall. And they had two prototype bicycles. One was a neon pink bike. Lame. The other was a neon green bike. Cool. And I coveted that bike like nothing else. I worked tirelessly to earn this bike. And by work, I mean I worked on my parents, because I was only 11 years old. But I was no fair weather bicycle enthusiast. I subscribed to BMX Plus, BMX Action, Freestyle, and I rented every video I could find in any video store within riding distance, even the Betamax ones that I had to take to my friend's house to watch. Even so far, I went to every bike demo, every freestyle competition, every BMX race that I could get to, and here's a picture of me way in the past, and kind of doing pretty much what I'm doing right now, in so much as, if you look at the t-shirt that I'm wearing, I'm still wearing that t-shirt today. So my love for bicycles was not fleeting. And for that, I received the gold standard of all Christmas gifts. I got a bike, that neon green bike. Now, at this time of my life, I was growing up in a suburban subdivision where all the houses looked pretty much identical, save for whatever car was parked in the driveway. And if you were to look at an aerial map of my neighborhood, you'll notice that there is a field of very tall grass here, a dirt field there, and my house was right up there. Now, if you were to ride, say, a bicycle down that road and around that little bend and then down this very long driveway, say it's about 3/10 of a mile, you would hit a pedestrian bike path right around here. If you were to take a right there and go down, say, 2/10 of a mile, totaling roughly 1/2 of 1 mile, at the end of this dirt, tall grass field, you would encounter a bicycle jump. Now, in the spring break of 1986, my very good friend Ben and I are taking turns going off this jump. And with us is my little sister who's on roller skates, who's also sitting in this crowd right now. Start guessing which one she is. So we're taking turns going off this jump, and at some point in the afternoon, two kids start riding down this path towards us. Now they're older kids, we've never seen them before, but they're wearing some sort of like sports affiliated, like non-denominational Letterman's jacket or like high school jacket. I don't know, we didn't know them. One of them had a mustache, I'm not sure. But they were riding bicycles that were, I would liken them, the more worldly, wiser me would liken these bicycles to something you might see a cosmopolitan Dutch person traversing the bridges of Amsterdam upon. But in my mind, anyone riding one of those bicycles looked like this. Oh wait, no, that's the bike. That's a classic Euro design. But in my eyes, that's what they look like. Anyone riding one of those bikes, it was a granny bike, and it was most certainly not the sweet-ass whip on which I was riding. So, as these kids are coming down the path, they sort of queue up, because it's clear they're about to go off the jump as well. So the first kid, he goes off, and Ben is at the part where you go off the jump. I'm at the landing where you would land after having gone off the jump. First kid goes off, lands in front of me, and keeps on riding. Second kid goes off, but as he's in the air, decides to remove his foot from the pedal, stick it out in full extension mode, and whack! Gets me right there. Solid connect. Sends me and my bicycle sprawling across the ground, skidding away, and I hear him softly cackle as he rides off. Now, I'm no stranger to bullying, and I'm no stranger to falling on my bicycle. So I merely get up, I dust myself off, I make sure that my bike has not been damaged. It wasn't. And I just kind of like pull it together. But in my head, something had snapped. Something shifted. And before I could stop it, my brain and my mouth colluded to say the meanest, most offensive, biting, aggressive thing that I could yell at those boys as they rode away. And before I could stop it, I found myself yelling, "Nice bikes!" It's so savage. I know that I should have just kept it to myself, but I couldn't control it. And so I turned back to my friend Ben, and I'm hoping for some sort of like shared incredulation, or at least a like sick burn, bro, or something. But I can tell by the look on Ben's face that that's not how this afternoon is gonna go. And I look back around, and sure enough, those two boys on bikes have now turned around and are coming at us fast. And I panic, and I look around, and I see my little sister on roller skates, and she's standing next to this big field, this tall grass field, and so I just push her into the field. So if you're out of sight, out of mind, it won't bother her. And I get on my bike, and I just start pedaling as fast as I can. I'm going as fast as I can. I'm just going down here, say roughly 2/10 of a mile, and I get to this corner, and I'm going to turn left. Now, something I learned later in life, if somebody's chasing you, don't lead them back to where you live. I didn't know that yet, so I turn left. And as I'm turning left, I look back to see if they gained on me, but they haven't. Unfortunately, Ben, not so lucky. So he's back there, and I see he's kind of assessed the situation, and he realizes they're probably not after him, they're probably after me. So very selflessly, Ben yells, "Don't worry, just keep going!" And so I do. I hang on left, and I go down this long drive, and it's like a horror hallway. The harder I'm pedaling, the longer that driveway seems to get. But eventually, I get to that little corner up there, and I turn, and I'm going roughly about 3/10 of a mile after my last turn, which total is about 1/2 of 1 mile at full top speed. And I get to my house, and here's my house right here. I'm coursing with so much adrenaline that I get to my front door, but I can't even navigate the keys out of my own pocket. So instead, I realize I've only got moments to spare. I go around the side yard, in through my backyard, and then around to the far side of my backyard, and I just crouch down, and I just go, please don't find me, please don't find me. And I look through the slats in the fence, and they have gathered on my street, and they're yelling at each other, and one of them saying, "He went in their backyard!" The other one's going, "No, he went in their backyard!" And I'm thinking, Please don't go in my backyard. Please don't go in my backyard. And I look up, and I see the fence that separates my backyard from my neighbor's backyard, and it's missing an entire wooden plank. So if they go in my neighbor's backyard, there is no way they're not going to look to the side and see me or my neon green bicycle. They think, "Oh no, please don't go in my neighbor's backyard. Please don't go." They go in my neighbor's backyard. So I just let's backtrack. The fact that we're back at the jump, he kicks me, I fall down, standard bullying, big deal. The fact that they chased me, that escalates things a little bit, but really not too unfamiliar with that either. But now the fact that they're about to break onto private property is a whole new level of threatening, and I don't know what to do yet. So I just brace myself. And just like in cops, they get to my neighbor's backyard gate, and they just kick it open. But the gate flies open and blocks the missing plank of the fence, and I realize, yes, here's my chance. So as soon as they get in the farthest back part of the neighbor's backyard, I pick my bike and I tiptoe around the side yard. I tiptoe around the backyard. I go around the side yard again. I get to my front door. This time I got my keys ready, so I unlock the door. I open the door. I throw it back inside. I jump inside. I close the door and I lock it and I brace myself. I try to pull together, and then somebody's trying the doorknob.
Oh my God.
That's what that sound effect very quietly that you just heard. And I think, oh no, just be quiet. But I figure I'm gonna get the courage. I'm gonna look through the peephole just to see. And look out the peephole, I don't see anyone. It's cool. Everything's cool. We're fine. Everything's cool. But then there's the doorknob again. I look back at the peephole. There's still nobody there. But then I realize it's my little sister. She's too short. I can't see around the people. So I unlock the door. I open the door. I pull my sister and I close the door. I lock the door and I go, shh. We wait it out. We just wait. Finally, after a few minutes, there's like some semblance of calm. We're thinking, okay, all right, everything's under control. We're good. And then all of a sudden, there's knocking at the door. Shh. Or, if I'm going to be specific, shh. Hit. And we went out. But then like seconds later, hurry, it's Ben, let me in. So I unlock the door, I open the door, I pull it in, I close the door, I lock the door, and he's just covered in sweat, and his eyes are as big as Oreos, and he's going, when they couldn't find you, they went back, and they found me, and they knocked me off my bike, and then they took me up, and they threw me against the wall, and then they put a knife to my throat, and they said to tell you that when they see you again, they're gonna kill you! The next day, I went on vacation because spring break of 1986. That's my little sister. That's my stepmom, and that's a guy who says he is Don Ho, but I cannot confirm that. Okay, so let's jump ahead to Monday after spring break of 1986. So this is the first day back at school after spring break of 1986. Now, because my bicycle has the tags on it, I can't fit it in the normal bike rack slot. So instead, I've got to go to the far end of my bike rack at my junior high school, which is my 7th and 8th grade. It's kind of small, and I lock my bike up to a pole, like at the far end. And as I'm doing that, I'm wrapping the chain around the pole of my bike. A shadow is cast over me. But before I can turn around and identify the shadow, someone has grabbed my head, rammed it into the pole, and knocked me out. I was surprised, you probably won't be surprised, it was the two boys from the bicycle jump. Turns out their names, Chad and his buddy Drew. So I get my druthers and I come to, and Chad is right there and he's like, what do you say about my bicycle? Your bicycle? Who are you? I don't know what to say. Don't fucking lie to me, asshole! What do you say about my bicycle? I don't know what it is. Before I get a chance, he grabs my head again and rams it back into the pole. I come back and he's like, don't fucking lie to me, asshole! Who else would ride such a faggoty green bike? His words, not mine. Now, despite his irrefutable logic, I continue to deny everything. And whatever it is, it casts just enough doubt that he doesn't destroy me right there on the spot. But unfortunately, now I realize these two kids go to my school. Now, the fact that I've never seen them in my school or on campus probably goes a long way towards describing what kind of students they were. But be that as it may, no more safe spaces for Craig. So, like Supertramp before me, I must now take the long way home. I go through neighborhoods I haven't been to in a long time, but still when I get to this area, I still must somehow get from this area to that area. And so I come out from a different angle, I get to this area, I make sure the coast is clear, and I get into this field. And this field, as you might recall from the spring break of 1986, which was only a few days earlier, where I pushed my little sister to the grass. It's very tall grass. So I'm pushing my bike through that field, and the grass is high enough that nobody can see me, but I kind of periscope up, and I can see what's going on. Sure enough, Chad and Jerome come cruising down this path. Now, they're not like destination oriented. They're definitely kind of, observing, hunting. They're hunting. They have a very hunty look about them. And I think, okay, just keep on going, just go down that way, just keep going that way. But no. They get about, say, 2/10 of a mile from here, and they turn around and they come back. And I can see now they're facing my direction, so I have a better view of them. They still can't see me, but I see now they're both carrying guns. Each one of them has their own gun. I'm 11 years old. This is only the second time in my life an older kid is chasing me with a gun. I still don't know what to do yet. So I waited out. For 30 minutes, they patrolled this path back and forth. And eventually they gave up and went home. Unfortunately, this scenario went on for 2 straight weeks. Every day after school, I hid in this field while 2 boys, armed with guns, went back and forth on this path looking for me. Now, eventually they gave up, and they quit. My fear never did. That's definitely more than the psyche needs to create some sort of complex on that. Now, let's just jump ahead, if we can, to the epilogue. Spoiler alert, this is the first of 2 epilogues. We're nowhere near the end. On a 1-lap race, we're at like the 3rd turn at best. So, let's jump ahead to my first day of high school, which is roughly 1 year and 1/2 after spring break of 1986. First day of high school. At this point in my life, I am so into bikes. I was into bikes before, but I am definitely into bikes now. I used to be like bike crazy, but now I'm like bike criminally insane. Like way super bike crazy. And it was to the point that on my criminally insane, sorry, that was for you, Sean. And so I'm thinking, nothing bike things intimidate me. To the point that on my first day of high school, during lunch, I saw 2 seniors riding BMX freestyle bikes, and it didn't even occur to me that there should have been some sort of social hierarchy that I had to abide by. Instead, I just went right up to them and I was like, hey guys, wow, you got the Paragon 48 rims? Oh, that's awesome. You ride a gyro? I don't like the gyro because it doesn't mesh with my Balance Bulldog calibers. But it doesn't matter because I took out the freewheel hub and put the coaster back in because they're just in the short ramp tricks. You know what I mean? No. What do you want to ride with us or something? Oh yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be awesome. Oh, all right, then meet us at the basketball courts after school then. Oh, all right guys, thanks man, see you later. And I walked by and I was like, oh, what just happened? Wait a minute. This is my first day of high school. This is definitely not how the movies go. Like I was a smaller than average kid, I got picked on a lot. So on the first day of high school, to be invited by the upperclassmen to do the one thing that I identified with, that was pretty sweet. Not only that, but the way my high school was laid out was that the basketball courts were located pretty much where the entire student body had to pass through to get off campus. There was definitely a crowd. So, that final bell rings, and I'm out there as quick as possible, and I'm just doing tricks all over the place, and I see the seniors come out, and they're doing tricks, we're just ping-ponging tricks off each other, I'm doing like, tail whips and Miami hoppers, I mean, she knows what I'm talking about, and it's just like, really, just fully getting into it, just kind of feeling each other out, and then as we're doing this, the crowd starts to gather, because it's like the mid-80s, like a couple years earlier, if you saw someone breakdancing, you stopped and watched. So now it's like, if you're doing some skate tricks, or you're BMX freestyling, like people just stop and watch, and then people stop to watch what the other people are stopped to watch, and it just kind of grows exponentially. And so I'm thinking, like, now, if there's a big crowd, these seniors, I gotta show them that I'm worth hanging out and riding with. And so I was like, okay, let's pull out some big moves. And so, kind of like a figure skater does on the ice rink, where they start going in really big circles, getting their momentum for their big power move. I'm doing that on my bicycle around the basketball court, and it's kind of fanning people out, so I have room and I have speed. And as soon as I got up enough momentum, I hop into what is called, this is where it gets rad, a frame stand. Does this look difficult?
Yes.
Yeah, it's not. If you rode a bike as much as I did, and you couldn't do one of these, you definitely did not deserve to be riding an off-the-wall BMX freestyle bicycle. So I hop into this move, and the crowd, there's like a, oh, response. And looking at it now, it looks rather Christ-like So I wonder if maybe that triggered some people's reactions. I'm not sure. But I'm in this position, and I'm fully, in full extension, and people are kind of getting excited by it, and I see the seniors not impressed, because they know this is a very difficult trick. But it's cool, because I'm not done yet. So while I'm in the Jesus Christ pose. I would have warmed up if I knew I was missing that. The Jesus Christ pose, I moved that into one-footed. So now I used to be a lot more stable and flexible. Bear with me. I hope nobody gets seasick watching me do this. So I'm in this full extension pose, and the crowd suitably, whoa, right, yeah! I'm thinking, wow, that's awesome. And the seniors, I see them, and they're like, oh, all right, cool. But it's okay, because I've got more gas in the tank. Where else can I take this? I bring my free foot over, and now I'm doing a can. On the frame, standing like that. I give up. And I see the senior's face, and they're like, yeah, that's cool. I hear all the crowd is like, yeah! They're like high-fiving and looking at each other, and it's just, I suddenly had this ego I didn't even know I had. It's just like forming at that moment. I'm just like, 13 long years on this earth. If only 12-and-a-half-year-old me can see me now. I just feel really good. That was the moment when my body and my ego and my bike, it all came crashing down. Because as I was bringing my foot back, let me assume this position, it hits the seat, and the bike starts to get speed bubbles, it flips over, I flip over, I land on my wrist, bam, a minute cast for 6 weeks. But as you'll recall, I'm not going to blame someone else or something for that. The only thing that I want here is to know that somebody saw it. Because leading up to that crash was pretty awesome. It was pretty sweet. I was feeling pretty good about myself. If there was a guy driving NASCAR and he's like, super racing awesome. I'm sorry, all of my Cars references are from the movie Cars and Cars 2 and Cars 3. But imagine that there's probably some guy riding around and he's driving super cool, and then he crashes. Can I just write him off like that guy was pretty lame, I don't even remember his name. No, he was riding super awesome, they say, and then he crashed. And it's like a badge of honor to have crashed. And that's how I felt at that moment. Not only was I doing this super awesome trick that people are stoked on, but I had an even more spectacular crash. And I know that I said that video was a bonus. I don't have video. All I have is that same video from earlier, but I'm going to play it a little slower just to see if it's any better or worse. That's majestic either way. I watched that. So, my performance, as it were, gained me entrance into this whole underground skater, biker, Hessian, punker community, culture, whatever, delinquent culture that existed in the town that I grew up in. And that's how, a month after my first day of high school, which was roughly 1.5 years after the spring break of 1986, so 1 year, 1.5, and 1 month after spring break of 1986, I received an invite to R.J. Woodhull's backyard half pipe. This half pipe was mythical. People thought, I think it's in our town, but no, it's in New Hampshire or something. You just didn't know. You only saw it in magazines and in videos. But here I was invited to watch people ride this half pipe. Now this thing was monolithic. It had like 3 feet of vert on either side. I mean, like 3 feet of, no, okay, so 3 feet of vert was a lot. It was crazy. I had a cast, so I wasn't gonna ride it. But if I didn't have the cast, I would not have had the jingleberries to ride that thing. So instead, I'm just happy to sit and watch other people ride it and just kind of like be stoked that I'm here. And so I take a seat at a picnic bench that has clearly been stolen from the park across the street, the public park. And I take a seat, and at this picnic bench, there's like a boombox, and there's stacks of cassettes, and there's an ashtray, and there's a whole bunch of beer cans, and then Chad. He's sitting right across from me, and he's looking right at me. You know that scene in one of the Indiana Jones films where he turns, and there's a poised cobra looking right at him? Only this time, no glass partition between us. movie nerd reference. And he's looking right at me, right? He's like 18 inches away. And it's been a year and a half and a month since spring break of 1986, and he looks bigger, he looks stronger, and he looks meaner. And he definitely looks like today is the day he gets his revenge on me. And I am stunned, I am paralyzed, I'm speechless, I don't know how to react, and he's just looking right at me. I mean, just looking straight into my eyes, just straight, kind of like towards me, I don't know. But turns out, fast forward, Chad is now so fucked up on drugs that the only threat that he poses is maybe to his own underwear. And that's what brings us to epilogue part 2, 2 being the last of the epilogues. Now, I can't tell you what became of Chad. The best I can tell you is that he disappeared from the yearbooks after his sophomore year. But what I can tell you is a little bit about what became of me. Now, I don't ride a bike as often as I used to. I don't go back to the town